got my basic gradient here. I've used Payne's Grey and Titanium White, blended it in with the sponge. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre in the middle. Just a tiny amount. And I'm going to use an area of the sponge that's still clean and just gently tap that in. Just to give a little bit of colour. I think we'll put a little bit more in. It's rotating my hand as I go. So that gives us a nice little glow in the middle. And then using some of the paint that's already on the sponge, I'm just going to work a bit further out to the edges, towards the edges, not all the way to them. Just to give a little bit more of a gradient. And then I'm going to place my leaf with the spine side of the leaf, the bit that's got the texture to it. And put that down onto the paint. Gently press that in. And then I'm going to, using a little bit of copier paper, just take a quick print of that. Just rubbing very lightly. I don't want to remove too much paint from the plate for this one, but I'm pressing that leaf down because I want the leaf to pick up the paint from the centre of the plate. You can see we've got the gradient. There's a little bit of detail in the leaf here from the previous print that we did. Hang that one up out of the way. And then I'm going to remove the leaf. And it's nicely coated with the paint on the textured side. So now what I'm going to do is get some white paint and put a brighter area into the centre. And I'm running out of clean areas of the sponge to use. So what I might do is actually switch to a different sponge. This one's still a little bit damp, so I'm going to just give that a squeeze. Try and get as much of the moisture out of it as I can. So I don't want to introduce water onto the plate because it will cause the prints to become blotchy. Ideally, you want to work with a completely dry sponge. Just going to dab that in a circular motion. Again, just trying to get it as evenly as I can. And it's mixing a little bit with the yellow ochre underneath, but that's okay. I'm not looking for it to be completely bright white. Now I'm going to go back to the other sponge and work around this area to just blend it in. Working fairly quickly. I'm not coming too close to the centre, so I don't want to disrupt what I've got there. I just want to make a nice gradient. And I'm going to put a little bit more of the Payne's grey into the corners because I can see that it's a little bit blotchy. Again, using this area that's already been used with that colour. Tapping the paint in as evenly as we can, just up to the edge of the gradient, out to the edges of the plate. And then just blend out from the middle of the gradient. A little bit of yellow creeping in there, so I'm just going to go over that again. There we are. So there's our gradient. And now I'm going to put the leaf back on, this time with the painted side, the side that's got some of the yellow on it on the top. I'm going to take some more of the thicker paper, the cartridge or cup cycled paper, to pull print from this. Putting quite a bit of pressure on it. Press down around the edges. Pushing out from the centre. And there's our final print. So we've got some nice texture of the leaf. We've got the gradient. There's a little bit of texture from the sponge within that lighter area behind the leaf. And we've got fairly even dark blue or Payne's grey around the edge. It looks quite blue in this light. But that's basically how I've made my leaf prints. And you can have a lot of fun with these. I mean, you can start to apply paint to the leaf before you put it on the plate separately with a small sponge. There's all sorts of different things that you can do. Experiment with this and see what works for you. I've also found you can get some quite nice effects from cleaning the leaves after the session. So I might do another video later to show you some of that. And so you can actually get some prints from the cleanup process. So it's one of the reasons that I love using the Gelli Plate. There's so many possibilities with it, and you can get some nice surprises along the way. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this session, and if you do have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a like and follow me if you don't already, and subscribe so that you can catch my next video. Thank you for watching.